Morning, everybody. So I didn't take that as a negative. I just want to say I'm here as a stand-in. The two people that were coming today couldn't make it, so bear with me, please. What I would say is nobody's underestimating the change. People are familiar with Chief. If you go back to when Chief was implemented, it was the same. It was the same then. So, no problem with what you've said, because I think I've been asked today to talk about the trade address rehearsal service, and I think following you is actually good, because all those things you've said you referenced our town hall events, which cover those points. So my key message before I even go into the slides is start making declarations on CDS now, but start now, recognising that September date. Excuse me, can you just tell me what I need to push?
You push the green one.
The green one? Okay, so we've already referenced those. So the chief closure dates, after September, Chief will close for import declarations and March next year for export declarations. I don't think after the show of hands in the room, I need to ask if people are aware of those dates or not. Picking up on your point, the five key stages, that actually these are the stages a declarant needs to go through. Stage 5 is specific to declarants, not importers, and they don't need to be done in a linear way. But absolutely the things that we've just been called out, so register for your government gateway, an AORI, get access to CDS, so register for the service, and then picking up on the points we've just had, understand what authorisations you need if they are in place. But those data requirements, you need to really understand the tariff. Another thing is, yes, understand your method of payment, but one of the big call-outs I would make on this is those who hold a duty deferment account completing that direct debit instruction for CDS, and for customs brokers, agents, importers need to do that as well. That is because CDS uses a different bank account to Chief, so it requires that. And if you're an agent with a lot of importers, it's really making sure they've done that if they want you to continue using their duty deferment account. The second bit, which is the bit we're going to focus on, I'm going to focus on today, is that using the trade address rehearsal environment, which helps you before you move to CDS and can be used at the same time. So, what is the trade address rehearsal service? It's free to use, and it provides a simulated environment with declaration scenarios, and it behaves as they would in CDS primarily. It enables declarants to practice using the software. Some find that actually when they start using the software in the trade address rehearsal environment, or actually live on the service, there may be some tweaks that they want to the software. There might be some things they want building in, so it helps identify, and it also helps identify some potential issues. You know, you need to get familiar with your product, and sometimes sort of different requirements come out at that point. It also provides a valuable training environment some people migrate by location and train staff, have super users, and the trade address rehearsal supports that. Supports submission of imports and exports, movement messages, cancellations and amends, and uses real data, AORIs, duty deferment account numbers, authorisations and licences. And it also supports submission of activities such as movement messages, cancellations and amendments. And I would emphasise that point. It's available in parallel to CDS and there are no time limits on usage. So, do you want me to stop?
I know we're not supposed to ask questions, but can I just ask one very quick question on this? I'm sorry for coming on to it. So the trade address rehearsal, picking up on Arnie's point about trying to train ourselves as customs professionals who perhaps use third-party agents, can you only access that if you have a DTI? Or
if you're a declarant, if you have a software...
Front end to access for...
No, it is via a software product. And as I say, there's no time limits on the usage of that. You can use both CDS and TDR. So this goes to your question. It's available via a simple software setup carried out by your software provider, and then you have direct access from that software application through to the trade address rehearsal. As we've called out, you'll need a GB ORI if you want to test fully any authorisations, licences, deferments, accounts, and a knowledge of the UK tariff and how to make a customs declaration. Your software provider will also provide access to CDS when you're ready to submit declarations. Speak to them now about this if you're not already. Oh, I've switched it off. Wrong button. So what it isn't...
Sorry?
No, I switched it off, but I'm back on again. It's not a live environment, so it has no inward or outward connections to CDS Chief or any other system, and it doesn't create legal obligations, no payments taken. It isn't configured and sized to the same standards as the production environment, so you may find some deviations in performance. And if we do maybe a new release on CDS, the trade address rehearsal will maybe updated sometime later, a short period later, but it's not an automatic update on that. So, it's, as I said, optional service. It's not mandatory. That's a key thing to emphasise. It is an optional service, but we do really recommend usage of that. And then I know Steve's on the front row from the software developers, and they also endorse the use of it. It's available 24/7, so, just a bit bored one night, it's nothing on Netflix, just, crack on and use that trade address rehearsal service. You get regular comms via your software developer, provides information about planned outages, any network issues, etc. Software developers are often the first line of support in this because that's that testing that product as well. But we in HMRC have a support service 9 to 5 and emailing the TDR team. In some instances, we will monitor the service and watch some declarations going through. So if we see somebody who is having a large error rate, we've done some sort of proactive work to understand where they're making those errors and have contacted them to talk that through with them and offer some support on where they might be making those mistakes. This is just how you access it. I don't know, do we have any challenges? So this is just how you access the service and sort of what this, I just thought it'd be useful to call out some of the things that have told us. So developers, as I say, actively encourage that use as a training and testing platform, feel that TDR enables clients to familiarise themselves with CDS. From a declarant feedback, operational differences between Chief and CDS, and that enables to test and familiarise themselves with it. What I would say is if you are using TDR and CDS, if you want to test something in TDR, don't do it 10 minutes if you're a bit unsure. Don't do it 10 minutes before you're going to submit a live declaration, because if you do get an error, you won't get that prompt response. It is that test environment. So, some people choose to do certain declaration types and build up in complexity. what we have seen is those that have used it have a much lower rejection rate of errors on CDS than those who don't when they go into the live environment. So this picks up a bit on our first on the previous conversation. We do have a CDS gov.uk homepage, which then does send you down different links, but it's a landing page for that information. We've got the example declarations on there, and which are very detailed, and more than happy to consider others if somebody wants to suggest. We have increased that, but more than happy to take suggestions on that. We've also published guidance on the error codes, so we've got that guidance out there now, and we are going to publish, just in the working on that on the train this morning as well, are frequently asked questions about CDS, and we'll continue to iterate that now so that to try and preempt some of those errors, etc. We do regularly review gov.uk guidance, but that's not saying we don't recognise it's not the most user-friendly on some occasions, but we have limited control over that. It's not our platform to own. So as I say, we've got the homepage, making a payment page, addressing gaps in declarations, amendments and cancellations, the checklists that have been referred to, which are for both declarants. There's one for declarants and one for importers. And we're also developing some really short, sharp video content. So it's like, how do I register? For some of the, I know we talk a lot about intermediaries and customs agents who you know, make the significant volumes on CDS, but we also recognise the smaller traders as well that need the support, and those are really, you know, just short, sharp, and they lead you on. The training that was referenced, that was, I think it was October, November last year, over a 5-week period, a day a week for 5 weeks. We're also looking to make that available as in a single file. It's as it was delivered, but we're looking to break that down. However, if anybody here did want access to that material as it stands now, if you let Kevin know, more than happy to share that out now, recognising it's being made smaller into more bite-sized chunks. So, making your move to CDS, do take advantage of the trade address rehearsal service, but also I would really, really encourage you to start making your move to CDS now. We have got, as we, you know, going back to our date, September. Please do really consider that. And if you make declarations on behalf of others, it's that, I think the previous presentation was from that view of an importer, but to me it's that conversations and really joined up across supply chains. So we mustn't forget CSPs in this as well. So CSPs, software developers, declarants and importers, exporters, and some are really complex supply chains with sub-agents in there as well. And my real emphasis is this direct debit instruction. We've done lots and lots of comms about that, but we do get feedback from trade, and Steve will testify to that, about importers' awareness about completing that direct debit instruction. And we've got it on duty deferment account statements, you know, you name it, where we can put it, we've got it. But I think those are the key points for me. I'm done. Thank you for your time.
Yep. Sue, thank you very, very much.